Yo, what's up guys? So in this video, I'm going to be doing a deep dive into self-awareness and my journey of things I wish I would have known to be more self-aware, or on my journey of self-awareness. That's what somebody asked me to make a video over. So, what is the journey of self-awareness? What is something I wish I would have known on my journey of self-awareness? So I think to understand this, we have to break down what does it mean to be self-aware. My understanding of self-awareness is that we have like a system of beliefs that we've picked up from years of experience from the people we know, our friends, our family, what we believe about ourselves, social media, just our world in general creates this version of ourselves that we're here right now. The version of you that is across from the screen is operating from a system of beliefs that you've picked up over these years. And to understand what it is to be self-aware is your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And that's how you operate on a daily. So what type of thoughts do you have? What type of feelings do you have on the daily? What type of actions do you do on your daily? And does this correspond with the version of you that is doing the things that they want to do, is living the life that they want to live? And so that's what I kind of get when I talk about self-awareness. It's like you have to understand yourself fully through the form of like practices like meditation, writing things down, your journaling. You have to truly understand yourself and your belief systems and where all these beliefs came from to be your most aware self, and to you have to start studying yourself and sit down and write things down about like the things that you currently do. What do you like? How do you feel on a daily basis? What are the belief systems that you have set in place for like your job? Like, do you hate your job? What are the belief systems that you have in place for like the gym? What are the belief systems that you have in place for like food, or like how you see yourself in the mirror? And this is all like through the form of self-awareness. Like, people who don't even understand that most of the time they're operating from a habitual state. Like 90 it's 90 or 95% of our day we're operating from a habitual state, which means we're operating from these beliefs, these past patterns that we've picked up, and we're doing it unconsciously. That's what that means, is a habitual pattern. That's what a habit is. And you're doing a lot of things unconscious in your world that you don't even realize are affecting you in your life, and where you're going, what you're doing, and where you're currently at. And so to be more self-aware is to study yourself, and to study yourself is to practice forms of meditation and journaling and writing your thoughts down to understand who you are. What else is there? Things I wish I would have known back on my journey of self-awareness. I guess the biggest thing that I wish I would have known back on this journey of self-awareness is, I don't even know where I was going to go with that, what I was going to say. Things I wish I would have known back on my journey of self-awareness. I guess what I wish I would have known is that I was operating from a habitual state, doing all of these bad things, making constant bad decision after bad decision, constantly being fearful of what was going to happen in my future. Like, I literally would think, like, most of the day, I would go, like, for months on end, I was thinking the worst thing was going to happen to me. I constantly had that in my mindset, thinking that the worst things were going to happen to me and that nothing ever worked out for me. And that's how I operated all the time. Like, what type of person do you have to be to operate from that system? Like, do you understand the type of life you create when you do that? It's a life of misery. That's what it is. And I was literally living miserable every single day, and I was trying to pretend that I was, at peace and happy, and all these things just didn't add up, right? You can't pretend for so long. And so I guess the biggest thing that I wish I would have known is that I need to actively study myself and to not dislike myself for making these mistakes, and to be more compassionate. Like meditation, the biggest thing that you can learn is there's awareness. Like I talk about this, the essence of meditation is based on your awareness and compassion. And it's these two things. You cannot have one without having the other. I mean, you can have awareness, but you're gonna be living just in a life of misery where you just like are aware of all these bad things, but you don't know anything about how to actually do it or be compassionate about yourself and how to get yourself out of those situations. And so I wasn't compassionate at all towards myself. I constantly had these negative beliefs. I disliked myself. I thought the worst things were gonna happen to me all the time, and it showed up. The worst things always happened to me. I constantly had problems with people. I constantly, I would lose friends. I would, make horrible decisions, and I constantly was going back and forth of like, oh no, I want to try to be better, but then I would make mistakes, and then I would believe this pattern, and I'd fall back into the negative cycle, the doom cycle, over and over again. And then sometimes I would just stay in the doom cycle and just give up for like months on end. And that's just how it was. I was just like, it's just over it, like the worst, something bad is really gonna happen to me. And I just believed that. I literally believed that the worst things were gonna happen to me all the time. And that's a horrible state to operate from. If you're operating from that state right now, my prayers go out to you. It does get better, dude. It's not the end. I guarantee you can pull yourself out of the situation once you understand that you're just operating from a faulty belief system, and that it's not your fault. You've just been conditioned this way. You've been operating like basically a bad trained puppy right here. Like, you see you've seen like other dog owners, and they have like, very well trained puppies. These puppies operate, they're so nice and stuff, and they're cuddly. And then there's sometimes when it's like ones that have just been abused, they've been beaten, they've been like, tormented. And how is that puppy gonna operate? It's gonna operate out of like, it's gonna be angry, it's gonna be vicious when it starts to grow up, and it just becomes a mean dog, right? And it's the same thing here. People think we're different than the animals. We're not different than the animals. I can tell you that. Most people are operating just like animals in their environment, and they don't even understand that at all. And you have to understand these concepts. You have to understand that you're operating from a faulty belief system, and that it is possible that you can change. The sooner that you know that you're operating from this system, and that it's not your fault that you make these mistakes, and that you just become aware of it, and you become compassionate for yourself in those moments. This is what I say on my page, like operating from that place of self-love, and that that it's not completely your fault. Like, it's not your fault that you're doing these things, you're making these bad decisions, and that you keep on repeating these cycles. You've been conditioned this way, and you have to untrain yourself. You have to unlearn this information and then relearn new information, which is basically what I'm saying right now. Relearning this new information, that you're operating from this faulty belief system, and that you do have the power to be able to take this back and take back your life, and to understand that you can get out of these situations, and that it takes effort every single day. It takes consistency, and it takes repetition. And the more you do this, it gets easier over time, and you start to understand, like, you start to see these changes. But you don't want to get so ahead of yourself that you're like, oh, like, I'm making huge changes, I'm so much better now, I'm completely better. And then you make a mistake, and then you fall back into that negative cycle. It's constantly going to keep on trying to come up and pull you back down. And you have to understand in those moments that when you operate from that self-awareness, that true self inside of you, when you operate from that version of you that is in between, like, this super egoic state and then this like super low state, like when you're operating in that in between state, that perfect state, you can do anything. Truly, you can really do anything in that moment, and answers will be given to you. You will find the way somehow. that's the best way I could explain it. I hope that you found some understanding of how this works now, and that you can start to find how to be more compassionate for yourself and start building your awareness and developing this new identity of the self that you want to be. Start writing these things down about the version of yourself that you want to be. What type of version is this? Start building your character, writing down what this person does on a daily, how he thinks, how does he talk, what type of things does he have, and how does he feel when he talks to other people, and just all these different things. This is stuff I used to write down. Like, probably, I think it was about a year ago, I started to write all these things down. A couple years ago, probably, I think. And I started writing all these things down about the person that I wanted to be. And now I'm operating from a new system where I'm actually stepping into that version of myself. And it's a transforming, transcendental experience that you can have for yourself as well. And you need to understand that it does get better. If you are stuck in a situation like that, you can pull yourself out through understanding certain concepts like this. So, hope you guys found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.